Wonder Woman is next in our DC run through that we're doing. I'm doing this because new Wonder Woman film's coming out in October, supposedly, if it doesn't get delayed. But yeah, the first Wonder Woman. This is a good movie. It's a good movie. I think people weren't necessarily expecting a good movie from this. People were a bit skeptical because they'd just done Suicide Squad, so everyone's sort of got, ah, shit. Here we go, DC are fucking up. And their theatrical release of Batman v Superman being shit as well. Well, not shit, but it just wasn't that great. Like I said before, when they cut loads of stuff, it just didn't work as well. But Wonder Woman was a good movie, and its strengths really come from Gal Gadot playing Wonder Woman, of course, and Steve Trevor played by the guy. I can't remember his name right now. Chris Pine, I think it is. I think it's Chris Pine, yeah. Yeah. The guy who was in the Star Trek movies as well. They're both really good. Their chemistry together is really good, and they nail it. They're easily the best part of this film. I mean, the premise for the movie is it's not really that interesting in a sense, like the plot, the story. I don't think she has one of the most interesting, origin stories for me. But the plot of this movie goes down. The story is she's sort of raised on this like an island, really nice place, like the tropics or some shit. I don't know. It's kind of like hidden from the world. It's called the Amazon, and she trains there, to be a warrior. And it's all based around like ancient gods. I don't know if it's Greek gods or something, maybe. But yeah, she's on her island, and Chris Pine. It's set during the Second World War. Yeah, Second World War. His plane crashes, sort of goes through into their island, like through this like invisible barrier, ends up on their island. She saves him, and then she figures out there's a war going on that she has no idea about. 'Cause she's in this own like secluded bubble on the Amazon. She doesn't know anything about the outside world. So she joins him in a mission to defeat evil from the world, in a sense. She believes in, I think his name's Ares, the god of death. She believes that's like signified in a World War II general that's with the Nazis or the Germans in this. So she's sort of obsessed with that ideology, and she wants to go out and fight. Chris Pine slash Steve Trevor doesn't really believe in it all. He's just like, yeah, okay, we'll go defeat Ares, but really he just wants to win the war. And that's kind of your movie. That's pretty much it. It's a nice setup, and like I said, the best part is the chemistry between the two, and you got some good like secondary characters in this as well. But I mean, as a whole, like I said, the story wasn't really all that interesting. It kind of gets a bit boring. It's one of them I was watching at home, and I found myself sort of kept looking at my phone because I hate to be that guy, but it just wasn't really that captivating, in all honesty. And as it progresses, it sort of gets less interesting. Like the first half of the movie is great, it's really excellent stuff. But as you get later on and you get your main villain and, Ares is real and all this stuff, and he's been acting as a human, I don't know, it doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense to me, the way they sort of set this all up. But I don't know, it's an origin story, it hasn't really got to be perfect, I suppose. But yeah, you get some touchy moments, you get like some sacrificial shit at the end, it's quite symbolic, I think, with their whole god theme that they're going on here. Making a sacrifice for the benefit of mankind. Gal Gadot learns that pretty much everyone's evil. Everyone's got this bit of evil in them, and it's not down to one person. Everyone's got to just make the choice within. Bit cheesy, but yeah, we move. I don't understand why she doesn't age. I guess that's just a character trait for her. I didn't really look into that, but because she's just chilling in World War II and she looks the same in modern day. But I don't know what that is. I mean, apart from the plot, the only other weaknesses were really like, I think some of the CG looks a bit off. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's just because it looks sort of so out of place in the time zone. Because you've got World War II, and then you've got her like running around in a Wonder Woman outfit with like a glowing whip and all this stuff. So it looks it looks kind of a little off, and the CG is still a bit hit and miss with DC so far. It hasn't quite been that great at times. I think that's when there's too much going on. It looks a bit ridiculous. But it's certainly a strong movie. It's certainly one I wouldn't skip if I was like doing a DCEU rundown. It's definitely worth watching. I mean, the sequel, as I talked about before in another video, it looks a little bit, Wonder Woman 84. But, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully it can at least be as good as this one. I'm hoping it tells a better story, but whether that's going to be the case or not, I'm not really sure. But, Gal Gadot, Chris Pine returning, it's always going to be good. I'm just looking forward to seeing more chemistry between them again, in all honesty. It's a good movie. It gets 7.5, 7. I'm doing these in between ones because I can never decide. We'll go with 7.25. It's a good film. Worth watching. Up next, we'll probably have Justice League. So I don't really want to rewatch it again, but we have to. The Joshton League. That's up next. We move